Welcome to another edition to the Women in Public Safety podcast. This is the podcast where we discuss triumphs and challenges for women who work in public safety, human services professions. All right, I want to welcome you. Happy Mother's Day for those of us who are mothers, or if you're watching from a different time zone than where I am, then if it's already Sunday for you, happy Mother's Day, and I hope you enjoy your day. I want to talk briefly about a topic that I think I briefly touched on it in the earlier episodes of the podcast, but I kind of want to go more in depth into it because it's very important and it's kind of near and dear to me because it's things that I'm personally dealing with as we speak, and that is having a social support network outside of your profession. Those of us who work are first responders by any capacity, whether it's medic, firefighter, or you're in the military, you're in law enforcement, even corporate. It's important to have actual strong support system in your social circle as well as with your colleagues. If I'm going to be reading, I have some notes that I wanted to kind of, you know, reference by, but I think having a strong social support is pivotal and it's vital for you to keep yourself as, sane, so to speak. A lot of times our friends and family, they may not understand the things that we go through, and that's okay. I know a lot of you can relate that they can ask questions and you can try to explain to them what you have to go through or what your job is, and they'll just have that glazed look in their eye. Like, they really, okay, I appreciate what you're doing, but I still don't understand. And that's okay. It's okay. They don't have to understand. But, just to have a listening ear would help. What we go through, and I'm going to talk about one of the things, is the emotional resilience. We come from a profession where it is, our jobs can be so taxing to where, you have to have that strong resilience, and so a great social network and support can help you do that, along with other resources of finding help in a more professional way, if it's mental, physical, and definitely your health. I would say those are part of your social support. We all deal with it in a different way. I have to say for myself, when I'm stressed and just overwhelmed, I tend to just like shut down. And I don't know if that's not all necessarily a good thing, but the only way I can, kind of rejuvenate myself I have to be by myself. I'm an introvert by nature anyway, and we as introverts, that's our way of kind of rejuvenating ourselves. We need that space and time to ourselves. And usually what I do when I find the time, I find the time, I'll rephrase that. I will find the time, even if it's just an hour. I'll just lay down on my couch. I have my earplugs in, and I listen to audiobooks all the time. I don't really have the time to really sit down and read, but that's something I should, make a point to at least actually physically read a book, more often than what I do. But normally I just, put a headset or put my earbuds in, and I just lay down on the couch and I listen and take a nap. Naps, especially if I'm worried about something is going on in my life, family wise, and it's just overwhelming to me. I just have to just kind of shut everything down, shut my computer down, my laptop, phone, or whatever, and just get on the couch. And I have candles, near on my coffee table or my end tables, and I just light those, and I just kind of decompress that way. Prayer, those who are spiritual, definitely prayer is definitely a great way to kind of just rejuvenate yourself, because we deal with a lot when we deal with the public. When you are serving the public in whatever capacity, let's just say for examples, as a healthcare professional, you see you see all kinds of injuries. You see, it's long hours, working overtime, deal with life or death situations, or if you're the professional that where you have to make life and death decisions, it is an emotional strain and burnout. Same thing when you're working in law enforcement. You're dealing split second decisions, and the decision that you make could either be a life or death type outcome. It is. It's very overwhelming. And then, you have family members or friends. Again, like I mentioned, you don't really want to tell them everything because, they're probably, worried about you anyway, but, in the type of job that you do, especially when you're in type of law enforcement, but you don't want to give them gory details. But when they ask questions, right, can't you just snap out of it and move on? I mean, it's your job. You're off work now. You're off duty, and just get it out of your mind. And a lot of times you can't do that. There's days where I leave stuff that it was. I leave things at the job. I don't bring it home. I try not to bring anything home, as far as what's going on. But there are times where a particular incident happened, and it's on your mind, and when you get home, I mean, it still bothers you. And again, you may feel kind of like an outsider because you don't have a go-to place or a go-to space to kind of release that stress that you've endured or during your job. Also, there's a lot of high stress in those of us who are in the military. You're facing high risk environments. You're facing combat situation and deployment stress, and that again, not to mention trauma. I think people, when you're discharged from the military, come back different. You can't just. I mean, the life that is is gone once you serve and you do your duty, and coming out of the military, your whole mentality and outlook on life has changed, especially if you were in combat. Think that it should be going back to the way it was, and that just does not happen. I mean, if it does, it's very rare, but it doesn't happen. You are a whole new person, mentally, physically. Just having that, again, having a place to or a source to go to that's kind of keep you lifted, it is very important. Firefighters, high stress, life threatening situations, putting out fires, especially, house fires, building. You are putting yourself on the line and just making quick decisions, and, of how you're going to have to strategically how to put that fire out, and then wondering if someone is in, or people are inside a building or apartment building or whatever, a house. It's very stressful. It is very stressful. And, let's talk about corporate. Corporate professionals, they have a demanding work schedule, especially if you're high up in the chain ladder. You got tight deadlines, you have performance pressure on that, a competitive environment. It's always someone trying to be competitive and wanting that vice president position. And, corporate, well, it can be a very dirty environment to work in, and people will scratch and kick over you and jump over you, do whatever they can to get to the top by any means necessary. And so, and that's, you have a project that needs to be done, and it's, you know the pressures on you to get to have that presentation or project completed. It's really demanding, and it costs a lot of time outside of working long hours, and just the mental of it can be excruciating. So I mean, I'm just giving these examples of type of stressors that all types of professions, especially when it's dealing with the public or working in a corporate position that is very demanding and high pressure. I'm just curious, how do you handle the pressure or stress? Who is your support system? Who's your social support circle that you rely on outside of your colleagues? Your colleagues are one thing, but I'm talking about your family and friends, and people you may, go to church with, or these social clubs or outside of your profession. How do you handle it? Do you have a strong support network? And if so, how do your friends support you? How do your friends and family support you in a most healthy and productive way? Again, I personally, would I say I have a good support system? Honestly, I don't think so. I don't think I have. I mean, I'm not saying that I don't have people that doesn't care about me or anything, but when I need to, vent and, you know, just feel support and encouraged, I have people I can call. Yes, I could say that. But I mean, as far as actual support where I feel validated and feel I'm understood. I think that's the correct term that I'm looking for. Because sometimes I just feel like I'm not understood. And there's lack of communication. I try to communicate my feelings and thoughts. And, you know, as I said earlier, they'll nod their heads. And next thing you know, the subject goes back to them. Do you have friends like that? Family members like that? You're trying to tell them, how you're feeling or what's going on, and oh, that's, they'll listen, but then next thing you know, tables have turned and it's you that being the friend to them, or being the family, that the source of support to them, rather they're being the support to you. Honestly, that's what I deal with. And so at that point, I kind of just, I go back as an introvert. I just do what I do and just separate myself, go somewhere. I mean, just be somewhere where I'm by myself and just, do what I need to do to take care of myself. And it is what it is. And that's not selfish. People may say, well, that's being selfish. And you can't expect people to, understand, what you're going through, or family members to understand. And I don't understand that. But I mean, give me that little moment where, I can at least talk, and people can be interested and show that you do care. And I'm not saying that they don't. It's just that I guess, they think of you as being the stronger person because of the profession that you're doing. So you have to be strong. You have to be, on point all the time. And maybe they just don't realize that you're also human, and things affect you as much as, anybody else, you know. So maybe they think that we should just, okay, you deal with it. I'm sorry. I'm always here to help. I'm always here to support you. And when you do reach out, either unavailable, or when you do speak, the next thing you know, the whole dynamic changes, and it's about them and what they're going through. But anyway, I just kind of wanted to discuss this topic. I think it's very important. Like I said, I'm always open. I always like to hear everybody else's stories, and, other people's perspective of how you handle it. It's okay. I think we as professionals who work in our various jobs, it's okay. We're human. We may have to play that role. We cannot break down a course on our jobs or anything, especially, when we're dealing with all types of people of all walks of life. But we got to find our safe space. We got to find our happy place somewhere, our support space. And, having a great social network of family and friends who would just kind of just care for you. You know what I mean? And you feel cared for. You feel taken care of. They don't have to understand the intricacies of our job. And, and to be honest, you really shouldn't, maybe not a good idea to bring all that stuff home to, to talk to them about it anyway. Just want to feel like you're just cared for and appreciated, and just give me a moment to let it be about me for once. I'm not the drama queen or anything like that. I don't do that. I'm not like that. I just want to feel like I'm taken care of a little bit. Just if it just for 5 minutes, you know what I mean? That's how I feel. And then, I'll probably feel better and feel encouraged and feel, okay, I just needed to just vent. off of some things, okay? And I vented, and I appreciate you listening. I appreciate you being there as a great support. I'll be okay. I'll be okay. And like I said, those of us who are spiritual, definitely, I lean on my faith um, a lot. My God is always there, with me, and He's going to get me through this. That's just, that's how I feel, and that's one of my main source of comfort. So please hit that like and share and subscribe. We want to get the algorithm up. I want to get as much information and get as much content out there. I'm going to be having a special guest within the next month or so, a little less than a month, and we're going to have a great podcast for you. I'm excited to have her on as a guest. And if there's any stories, I'm still looking for a case chronicle, stories that you feel that will be good for my case chronicle segment. Please reach out to me at publicsafetybywomen@gmail.com. Click on an initial, I'll send you a link to show your express who you are, and show your interest, express your interest that you would like to share your story as part of the Case Chronicles segment of the Women in Public Safety podcast. And then we can take it from there, and we can meet up and Zoom, do a virtual meeting and discuss the details, and take it from there. I love to hear people's stories. I do. Other people have. I mean, you'd be surprised how many things that you may have in common with someone you never thought you uh, would have in common with, just based on the profession alone. So, and how you handle it. I mean, you may see a different perspective from someone else, uh, versus how you would have how things turned out for you. So it's all about caring and sharing for me. That's how I am. All right. So you guys, please be safe. Take care of yourself first before you take care of others. And I'll see you next time. And please, oh, also, I do have a Facebook group for people, women in public safety. I'm trying to make it as open as possible for those to join. Search for Women in Public Safety in the Facebook group, and please join. Really would love to, have you in the group, and we can share ideas and share content. All right, you guys take care, and I will talk with you next time. Bye.